So Cuff It is the second single off of Beyonce's Renaissance,
I'm back in the trap,
which I've been absolutely enjoying. And with a viral dance trend to go along with the single, it seems like Cuff It is really making its mark in the industry right now. And so I wanted to take a moment and zoom in a little bit on Beyonce's vocal performance on Cuff It. Beyonce is also doing some very, very subtle things that are making this song absolutely awesome. So let's break down some more Beyonce vocal runs, shall we? Hello everybody, O'Neal Gerald here. As you know, Beyonce is one of my favorite artists, and we've been talking a lot about her album Renaissance on this channel. We talked about the transitions. We talked about Plastic Off the Sofa. We talked about Virgo's Groove, and with Cuff It being the second single, I thought it would be amazing to just take a minute to actually listen to a little bit of the things that Beyonce's doing, because Cuff It is not necessarily a Plastic Off the Sofa in terms of Beyonce running up and down the place, but there are some very subtle ideas that Beyonce does easily that if we broke them down, we actually realize they're a little bit more complex than we think. Now, I really feel like Cuff It is unique because it really does a good job of showcasing Beyonce's new singing style, where she's not necessarily belting as much in the top of her range. Now, there are a few belts here and there on Cuff It, but it's almost as if we're getting this little line where Beyonce is like, I'm going this high and no further. Or rather, around the C5 range, Beyonce is choosing to use more of her head voice above that space, and she's leaving a lot more of her chest stuff to the lower parts of her range. Now, does that keep her from going above the line? Absolutely not. But it's just a general guide to see where Beyonce is choosing to flip registers. And we really hear that around the pre-chorus area, that I wanna go missing.
I wanna go missing. I need a prescription.
Right there. And then she touches the line, and right there she's using her head voice, and then she switches, go missing. So she tails off the head voice there, and she sings, I wanna go, and she belts it, go missing. Or not belts, but she uses more of a chesty range for it. Right? Right? So she's flipping a lot in this song, which is pretty cool. Another thing that makes this song so cool is really the backgrounds that are going on. I feel like the song is really built a lot on call and response. So we're not necessarily getting Beyonce echoing exactly what she's saying in the background vocals, but we're getting these little responses, this little commentary, so to speak. So in the beginning we get, I feel like falling in love.
I feel like falling in love.
And then the background say, falling in love.
I'm
Yeah. Or when she sings Spaceships Fly, she sings, the lead sings, Spaceships Fly.
Spaceships fly.
And then the backgrounds respond, Spaceships Fly.
Spaceships fly.
Yeah, which is actually a pretty cool harmony. Let's break that down. Fly. That's the top one. Fly. Really high. Fly. So we got the highest one. Fly. Spaceships fly. And then the last one. Fly.
Spaceships fly.
Really cool. So yeah, a lot of call and responses there. But there are also some runs that she's doing that sound so easy for her, but they're actually a little bit more complicated than we think. Now I'm gonna give you the clean version. Shout out to Beyonce for making a clean version of this song where there's actually word replacements. Woohoo! We're getting rolled up tonight.
We getting pulled up tonight.
Yeah, like that's a really good navigation of the key. So let's plot it out. So we're getting rolled up tonight, and that just that beautiful classical diction on it. Night, right? There's a little bit of a trill there, a wiggle. Night. Yeah, and all of this is harmonized, but I'm just gonna do the main line. So we're getting rolled up tonight. Beyonce's using a very light connection in between the two registers that can kind of make her blend from one side to the other in terms of her chest voice to her head voice. So we get a very heady, we're getting rolled up to, but around there she starts to kind of mix it to prepare her for the descent. Rolled up tonight. And you can hear her chest voice kind of finish off the rest. And I love the bright vowel that she chooses, to kind of lighten the chest voice there. So it's a little bit of a High. High. Alright, so let's take this half the speed. Right here.
We getting colder tonight.
Trill? Yeah. And let's take this full speed. 1, 2. We getting
Colder tonight.
Trill? And that's the thing I love about Cuff It. Like, there is just such a joy and an energy that Beyoncé is bringing to the music. And I feel like everything that she wanted to communicate with that joy is being spread out to the people that love to listen to her. And I know that a lot of you, in creating your own music and singing your own songs, want to be able to give whatever message you're trying to give to your audience with a lot of clarity. You want your audience to be able to get it. So if you're struggling with that, I want to help you. I want you to go to reclaimyourvoice.ca/masterclass and watch my masterclass, because there I'm giving you some tips on how to actually discover your own voice so that you can actually share your message with your audience with clarity. Because when people listen to your music, they want to be able to encounter what you're feeling, and you want to be able to give that to them without any type of obstruction in your own mind. So I want you to go to reclaimyourvoice.ca/masterclass, watch the training, and reclaim your voice. Reclaiming my voice. Anyway, let's talk about a few more of these covet runs. There's this really small, little, subtle, like really subtle thing that she does when she sings something up, when she raises the octave in the verse. I'm in the mood to feel something up. Yeah.
I'm in the mood to feel something up.
Yeah, this thing is a run. I'm in the mood to roll some, and that's really the money of it, like that little trill that's there. And those trills are really trademark Beyonce too. Like you get them in all of Beyonce's music out of the last 25 years, but still. Then yeah, I'm in the mood to roll some. And the money for me is really in this last part right here. It sets up the next chord really well. I love when people use the 5 when they're improvising. Anyway, let's take this half the speed.
I'm in the mood to feel something up.
Yeah, and at full speed. 1, 2, 3.
I'm in the mood to feel something up.
Yeah. And speaking of that note, we have another section where Beyonce was ending on the same note that this previous run ended on. Tease no self-control.
Tease it, no self-control.
Yeah. So we got tease it, no self-control. And then we got this mini triplet that she does. Yeah. Tease it, no self-control. Yeah, so let's take this half speed right here.
Tease it, no self-control.
Yeah, and then full speed right here.
Tease it, no self-control.
Yeah, yeah, it's the triplet for me. It's the triplet. And speaking again of these little trills, when she's in the cuff it section, we got another lick that needs to be talked about. Oh, baby. Yeah, woo, it's the little thing. Oh, baby. And for me, it's the inflections, but we'll talk about it. Oh my gosh. Oh, and first of all, that's a D5. Now this is above the line, but this is the first time in the song, I believe, that we're hearing her actually belt the D5. Awesome, Beyonce. And we got this downward inflection, and I don't usually mark these as much, but it's gonna be a little bit more important. Oh, babe. And then we get another downward one. Babe, babe. And we get this very small triplet. Babe. Right? So it's actually 3 notes. Babe. So that's really the mark of what the inflections are doing. Oh, babe, babe. Let's listen to this half the time. Right here. Yes, it's the little things. It's the little things. And let's take it full speed. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And don't forget at the end with the backgrounds. Fuck you. Yeah. And I like the way that she said fuck. She kind of made the F a little explosive. Fuck. And it's kind of like an F, but then it's got the O that's just right there. Fo. And then she starts the run. Yeah. Yeah. So let's take it halftime. Right here. Yeah, and let's take it full speed. 1, 2, 3. Yeah! Listen, Beyonce is all about the subtleties, and if you don't listen deeper, you're gonna miss it. So that's why we needed to talk about it. If you want to talk a little bit more about what Beyonce's doing, check out the playlist up here. And if you want to talk more about vocal runs specifically, I have a playlist right there that will fit for you right there. And if you're new to this channel, why not subscribe? Because this is the place where we help you to reclaim your voice. Reclaiming my voice. I'm O'Neal Gerald, and I'll see you in another video. Bye, everyone.